What we're looking at here. Two different situations. If we both walked onto a plane, I would be the pilot. You would be a passenger. I am an innovator. You are an imitator. I'm a leader. You are a follower. I am a winner, and all of you are losers.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Exit stage left! Exit stage right! There is no place to run. All the fuses in the exit sign have been burned out. Now I'm the one doing the challenging.
And starting this moment from now, from this moment on, this will be the moment, starting now, of the genesis of
the Professors of Wrestling.
Good deal.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
My chair is squeaking. I gotta make it not squeaky. All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
And remember, Publix chicken tender subs are still on sale.
Oh, I already got one yesterday. I brought it in for lunch today, the other half.
You're ahead of the game.
I know.
How's it going, Dave?
It's good. Well, it's not like we haven't seen each other since the first of the year, but this is our first
show together
for 2020.
For 2020.
We did do some wrestling over the holiday break.
We did.
We did not wrestle ourselves.
But we found wrestling to watch.
Yes, most definitely.
We are the Professors of Wrestling, and we want to be Taco Bell famous. So subscribe to the YouTube page. We are working on new content for 2020, and it is sure to blow your mind. Like the Facebook page. Let us know what you think and provide us with feedback and suggestions. Follow us on Instagram at the Professors of Wrestling. Share it all. Spread the word. Join in the discussion. We want to be a community.
And I think that's a big part of what we want to do for 2020 is blow this community out. And I think we're going to talk about it in our Something to Chew On segment.
Yes.
But in the meantime, here's this week's sponsor, Ben Owens Music.
Hi, this is Dave from the Professors of Wrestling. I'm at 1803 Plum Street, home of Ben Owens Music, where they've got basses, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, violins, keyboards, guitar pedals, amps, instrument repair, guitar, drum, and piano lessons. Learn from the experts. Ben Owens Music, Valdosta's music store.
All right. This week, I don't think we have any botch takes or nobody caught any botch takes.
That's great. That's a good way to start the new year.
Yes, we're starting out perfect, and I'm sure there will be plenty of botches in 2020.
It's just up to them to call us out on it.
Yeah, or sometimes we catch our own one. So we'll move on to the news. Do you want to take the lead on this one?
Spinbuter Wrestling Academy is always looking for men and women that want to be the next superstar of the ring, whether it be as a wrestler, referee, manager, valet. Hit them up at 229-300-5729 and let them make your dream come true.
Is that news? Or that's really a plug.
That's a plug.
But we throw it in the news so it looks like a plug.
I enjoy Spinbuter Wrestling Academy.
Yes. And SWA has dates soon for Damascus, Georgia. Cairo or is it Cairo?
I'm a Cairo person.
Okay. Want to make sure I get that right. Bainbridge, Georgia, and Donaldsonville, Georgia, in there. So those dates will be coming soon, according to our folks at the Southeastern Wrestling Association. And that's all the news we have for 2020 as of right now, but I'm sure that will be filling up
as the year grows.
Yes, and it's we were kind of dormant over December. We took a little of a break, so that's we got to get back in the swing of things.
Yeah. something to chew on. We got to go to NWA.
Yes.
Over the break.
We did one of the tapings.
Yes. We explored all of Atlanta before the tapings and got to really see a good show. And I enjoyed it. Excited to go back.
If you watch it, you can watch the back of our heads during the Eli Drake, Mr. Ken Anderson fight when it goes up in the stands and then goes up because we had to stand up and then turn around. And you go, oh, there we are. Because we sat up a little bit high in the sight line right there. So I think we're going back on January 25th.
Yes.
And so I think we're going to sit a little lower this time.
That way you can see us.
This is why we need to get, Clint's been on us, and that's fair enough. We need to get shirts made so we can wear we could, pimp our own stuff.
Yeah, I wore a Rod Grimes shirt.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. I was wearing what's his name? He died Harley Race shirt. So, anyway. So we'll be going to that. Interested to see if anybody's been watching NWA on the YouTubes, which you all think, since that is a Georgia thing. It's kind of an independent promotion. But what were your thoughts on that? Where it's going is it's in its second season, and we're going to the third season one night of the third season tapings. Yeah. So I think it was interesting to see how they put together
a show,
and then you're there when it happens. And you don't see all the pieces that are going on, but also you see some of how the magic, what are all the little pieces that happened before the final product. And then watching this season, I'm like, oh, I remember that. Oh, that's interesting how they made that together. So I'm interested to see some of the storylines and what happens here in the next couple weeks.
That is true. We also got to meet Dave Willis.
Yes, Dave Willis. And if you're like, who's Dave Willis?
We'll throw up a photo, and it's still real to us.
It's still real to us, guy. That was pretty cool. And we also saw the We Talk Wrestling podcast guys.
Yep.
And then when we were walking back from just chilling in, is that Midtown? Where,
Yes.
all the Peachtree, by all that, we saw some of the LA Lakers.
Yes, that is true.
The weird thing is I didn't recognize any of them. I'm not, but it was good.
Raising the bar.
Yes.
We are trying to raise the bar for South Georgia wrestling. And one of the ways that we're doing is through interviews so that you all can see these sides of these different wrestlers.
I think this is the discussion we've been having over the past couple months, too, about how South Georgia, and this is not an us or the underdogs, which we kind of are, but it's not an always us, is that there's no recognition. And this came out of the fact, for the Georgia history wrestling, we only had one person from South Georgia represented in any of the categories, and that was just Duke.
Right.
And for referee of the year. And we know
that there's quality wrestling in South Georgia.
There's quality indie promotions, there's quality of wrestling, there's a lot of quality stuff going on. And we kind of said earlier, we need to be a community. We need to be more vocal as a community, not just liking something, but commenting on something, getting more proactive. So if you want to support these independent wrestlers and help them get to whatever their next spot is in their journey, we've got to support these people. And it really just takes a little bit of a time. And so supporting us and then supporting all the wrestlers and supporting all these promotions is super beneficial. And I kind of think we all get together. That lists everything up, and I know that's kind of like a super positive motivational speaker thing, but we're starting to kind of see some of that happening.
Yes.
So help us out in our journey, because in 2020, we really want to start spotlighting these promotions and these wrestlers, and also the fans, because these fans are just insane crazy.
In a good way.
Yeah. Super into it. So let's give our communities, let's give our regions more recognition that we know that we deserve.
And that's the goal.
Yes. Which now also over the break, and when I'm referring to the break we took, Hayden Price
sent us one of his matches from DCCW, Destiny Combat Championship Wrestling.
Yes, against the Metro Brothers. I watched it the other day. Finally sat down and focused on it. What'd you think?
I was excited to see a match because we don't get down to DCCW as often.
Right.
And I think it was cool that the Metro Brothers did anything that it would take to win. You saw them with the fake tags, trying to make sure that they isolated Hayden Price from his partner. They did what it took to become champions.
This is what I noticed about the Metro Brothers. And this is a complaint I've seen online and also on some other podcasts about some higher profile promotions, is the tag where they slap them on the back. It's not the official, your high-fiving tag or the hand slap tag. The Metro Brothers are the masters of that. I think it's a lazy tag.
Yeah. I mean, at one point I thought they were going to, the Metro Brothers weren't going to win. I thought Hayden Price and his partner would retain.
I thought so too, and there was a lot of subterfuge, a lot of misdirection, and I was, to be honest, I was kind of disappointed in the Iron Ref.
Yeah, Kyle did not live up to the name.
No, it was more.
Got to be aware.
Yeah. There was no iron. It was more the rusty ref.
Yeah.
On that, because he didn't control the match. He let the Metro Brothers control the match. And the referee, you are the point of authority. You are the person that's supposed to control stuff. Like this was regular tag team rules. DQs, countouts, pin counts. It's not an over the top. There's none of these things that happen in kind of like these there was no stipulations to it. Control that, and that's squared circle. You got to maintain control on that, and towards the end,
it got kind of sloppy.
So
hopefully, Cash Opportunity gets another chance at the belt.
We hope so.
And hopefully, the Metro Brothers are aware. I mean, hopefully, whoever the ref is aware of the situation.
Or maybe Kyle goes back and watches the tape
and sees where he can improve.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Hayden, for sending that in. It was very enjoyable.
So if you ever want to send in a match, maybe we didn't see it, maybe we couldn't get into it. That's those things about being a community. Just send it in.
Yeah, we're more than happy to talk about that, and then we can share it up. Well, you know what? Why don't we just post it up on the Facebook page, too?
Yep.
Since that's on his YouTube page. Anyway, so you can watch that match and let us know what you think on the Cash Opportunities versus the Metro Brothers at the DCCW. What this week... I just cut in front of you. This week, we got some audience takes. Do you want to start out with the first one?
This one comes from Sam Skaggs. He wants to talk about how Spinbuter had the most chaos in a wonderful start of the year. Chaos it did, for sure. It lived up to the name Chaos at the Coliseum. Mm-hmm. Hold My Beer Hansen getting slammed over the head with a guitar.
Getting some color.
You saw... Who was Preston going to actually use his money in the bank or that briefcase?
But I didn't understand it. I think we can go more detail. I didn't understand, why was he going to challenge Lexi Gomez? Technically, he's not a female. Unless there's something going on. There's going to be some surgery. He's in, pre-op something or other along that lines. I don't know. Or was he going to allow the queen...
to take the belt?
Use that. Was he going to substitute it so they could bring in AMH's personnel within there? So it was just, that was very confusing to me. But particularly the final match, which was the winner, what did they call it?
Winter Warfare?
Winter Warfare. That was pure chaos. So I think what that is, Sam, Spinebusters... took those November and December off and came back
with a bang,
and they set the bar real high for themselves. So the next show, what are they going to do next?
True. We'll look forward to seeing that. This next one comes from Clint. Your thoughts on AEW?
I think when I responded to that one in the Facebook page for us is as much as we both enjoy AEW and what they're doing and how they kind of grow as a new promotion, we really want to focus on is kind of like what we were stating earlier about raising the bar for South Georgia, North Florida wrestling, is we want to focus on that because one of the reasons why we started this podcast.
Right. So
we're not hating on it. But there's plenty of other podcasts that are doing a great job talking about that. You could go to Wade Keller's got a podcast. I mean, there's just tons and tons of podcasts out there. So we want to do something a little different. So that's why we focus on what we focus on, Clint.
This next one is interesting. Will you try to interview Ox Haney, Vernon Black, and Tony Storm?
Well, we already have a shoot interview with Tony Storm.
So if you want to check that out, we'll link you to that one.
That's on our YouTube page. That was one of the first ones we did.
Right. And on Facebook.
Yes.
We haven't interviewed Ox. We haven't seen Ox since the summer
Yeah.
of 2019. And if Vernon Black ever wants to do an interview, then yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But I think that falls into some of the stuff that we're planning. If you noticed over the holiday break, we post, not only do we do the James, Raw, James is Adams?
Yes.
James Adams, who's doing the Raw promotion out of Douglas. We interviewed Brooks Robinson, which we dropped because we didn't do an episode over the holiday break. So we're going to be doing more of that content. And when Dorrian was saying earlier, we're going to be blowing it out and taking it to, doing what we want to do to grow what we do and what the area does. Those are some of the things we kind of have in store.
Sit tight.
Yes.
As a fan and chaplain for Solid Rock Championship Wrestling, Clint wants to know if he can be on our show. We do a ton of live shows.
Yes.
So if you ever see us, we'd love to have you over.
Yes, and and if you have an idea, pitch it to us, because I was thinking about that question. We kind of got a thing going on here, and it's hard to, if we bring in a third wheel, it kind of skews it a little bit on there. So, and also I think we're talking about some things that's going to involve some more fan interaction in the future. So for 2020, so hold tight, Clint. We've heard your voices on this, so. It's definitely something that is something that can happen, but
we gotta figure out the method of how it operates.
Right on that one. So hold tight, my friend. Hold tight.
This next one comes from Richie.
Yes.
AMH is all the content we need.
That would be a short show.
It would. How would we talk about that show? I mean,
we would have everything we have said about AMH. We really, like, over the summer and last fall. What's going to be interesting is what is AMH going to do in 2020.
How will AMH raise their promo abilities?
Yeah. So we throw the ball back in AMH's court and to say, hey, maybe all AMH needs, or one of the components AMH needs, is the Professors of Wrestling.
True.
So I'm interested to see what type of content AMH is going to be bringing in 2020, and I want to see what they're going to bring to the ring as well.
We'll see.
Yes.
That's all audience takes.
Yes.
Go team.
Yes. Now we're going to talk about the promotions. We didn't go to the Hybrid Pro show that was in January because
I was at home.
You were out of town, and I was thinking about going to a show in Jacksonville. But honestly, it's not fun when you go by yourself.
Sorry to hear that, Dave.
Yeah. I'm not, it's not a codependency thing, but we make, it's a community thing, and it's kind of one of the things we do. But Hybrid Pro is happening, their next show, February 1st, and it's Here of Glory. I think that's what it is again. In Daleville, Alabama at VFW Post 6020, bell time, 7 p.m. And as always, card is subject to change on what that is. And then, so maybe that's something we check out.
In February.
We got to look at the logistics and the schedule and see what else is going on.
Yes.
So Hybrid Pro, we want to add that into that. I think that's one of the promotions we need to add and find out the results, and maybe we start with the February 1st one.
And see how it goes.
Yes.
Now it's time for my favorite one to say. It is DCCW, Destiny Combat Championship Wrestling. Their next show is January 25th, Breaking Down the Walls. It is at Baker County Fairgrounds in McClinney, Florida.
I think we finally learned how to pronounce that correctly.
Yeah, I broke it down phonetically to help myself out. So, way to go, DCCW. We look forward to seeing the results and seeing what happens in there. This week, we went to Spinbuter, Chaos at the Coliseum.
As we started out 2020.
With our live pre-show.
Yes.
Got to meet a lot of people, different hashtags.
Yes.
Came out of that.
Let's see. I'm looking at my notes from the show. BTB famous.
Okay.
Hashtag 22.
Hashtag 22 knees.
Yes. Hashtag Lexi 4 belts.
Lexi Gomez has 4 belts.
I think that's her goal. Or is that how many she had?
That's how many she had.
Okay. Hashtag bringing attitude to wrestling.
That is Spinebusters.
Yes. Those are the only ones I wrote down. I don't know. Did you have any more?
It was none that I could think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
One of the things that we talked about in the pre-show is the faction. What if BTB and Southern Strong Style came together and made a faction? What would their names be?
Yes.
So we're looking at what other people would think.
Yeah. Was it Big Time Strong Style?
Yeah. Big Time Swamp.
Yeah. Or you could do Strong Style Big Time. I mean, you could flip-flop it.
Right. So if you know a name, we'll probably put it up on the Facebook of what would you call that faction.
I would like to see BTB back at the Spinebuster personally.
Give Hunter Mako and Preston a run for their money.
Most definitely. But it was a great show, and it was also good to hear what some of the goals are. And we need to go back and look at what J2 Strong is, since he posted his on his page.
Yes.
And shared that. Hear Lexi's goals, and also hear what Hold My Beer Hansen's goals are as well.
And the best dressed GM as well.
Oh man, and I'm excited to see what happens with Spinebuster in 2020.
Cool. And so in the first ever Unbreakable Challenge, Lexi Gomez faced Ember Cato.
Yes.
And it was one of those that we looked for.
Yeah.
We saw Prince Handsome in the corner.
Correct.
Doing whatever he could to make sure that Lexi Gomez did not win.
And I was not surprised, and I imagine you were not surprised either, because we had seen those two collaborate at DCCW, as you like to pronounce. How do you pronounce?
DCCW, Destiny Combat Championship Wrestling.
So it's exciting to see other people from other promotions and around the area come in. You know, it's sad that, like, on value, we both agree, Hembra, talented in the ring.
She does not need an outside force. So.
No.
But unfortunately, with this one, Prince Handsome may have cost her the match.
Yeah.
And that brings Lexi Gomez as you're not your new, but you're still your Spinebuster Women's Champion.
Lexi had a little help to get rid of Prince with the help of Shalanda Rookie Royale.
That is true. And that sets up a good tag team match maybe for March.
Yes.
With Lexi and Royale versus Ember Cato and Prince Handsome.
And I just want to bring the point here is it was a strong first match and kind of set the bar
high
for the rest of the night. And it's also good is that one of the, we said this on the pre-show and we said this in previous episodes, we like it when the women are not just kind of like a sideshow aspect of it and taking the women's division a little bit more seriously. So it's cool to see that.
Yes. What is it? The 4-way for the Gladiator belt.
Yes.
Happened between Hold My Beer Hansen, Brother Azrael, Cassius Mack, and Proc the Croc. Mm-hmm. During that live pre-show, we talked to Hold My Beer Hansen. We asked him, is it just going to be about the grudge between you and Cassius Mack, or are you really going for the belt? In this one, it definitely looked like he was going for the grudge versus the belt.
I mean, you could say that about Brother Azrael as well. I mean, those two have history. They were in a faction.
Yes.
The Pure Goodness faction, the Disciples of Goodness.
Right.
And that has disintegrated. And they were working together as a tag team, and then it just
fizzled out.
Yeah.
So we have to wonder, when you're looking at this match and you're looking at this division, who is Cassius Mack going to face? How can they keep their cool and focus on the belt and not the person who's holding the belt, or if that's a thing?
I'm wondering who would benefit the most from having that belt. Of the four, I would say Brother Azrael.
Yes.
Does Proc the Croc really need that belt? No, I think he would be better. He's Jay Too Strong has the belt. I think Proc the Croc would benefit the most and he's not.
He's not going for that one.
No, because it's Southern Strong style. You see that's working. You know, I think slowly working back together, and we're going to see those guys together in the future. And Hold My Beer Hansen's held that before. Does he need to hold it again?
I don't think so. I think you get Hold My Bear Hansen a partner, see him go to the tag team division, and see how he handles it there. But it would definitely benefit Brother Azrael.
Yeah.
Out of all of those four, seeing him get a win in Spinbuter, and actually be a champion, because he would be a fighting champion.
Yeah.
All the time.
It would raise his profile, and I think it's interesting to see how Hold My Beer's gonna recover from that blow to the head, which was violent, brutal.
Yeah.
And it looked like it hurt.
Definitely did. It was cool to see the pieces of the guitar they put on the table.
Yeah.
So that was the Gladiator belt. Cassius Mack is still your champion somehow. And that is the good guy way.
Yes.
This next one, exciting because we didn't have to go far to see Stunt Marshall.
He brought the hate.
All the way to Valdosta.
Yes.
So for the Spartan title, it was Jay Too Strong versus Stunt Marshall. Two high-profile people. In the pre-show, it was Jay Too Strong saying that he watched a lot of video.
Yeah, and Stunt Marshall brings his amateur wrestling background into it.
And he had to really prepare for this one. What'd you think of the match?
I thought it was one of the match of the night in my book. I would put this as one of my favorite matches of the evening.
Okay.
Because one, and I said this while we were watching it looked like I'm still concerned with the ring rust with Jay Too Strong. What did he do over the break? You know, cardio, hitting the weight room, running the ropes, all those things. As we know, Stunt Marshall is pretty active in around the area in Georgia and Florida. How is he going to come back? Because he'd only, as far as what we'd seen, as we saw our first comeback message at the Sunbelt show.
It was Solid Rock Championship.
Solid Rock Championship, excuse me. And then the next match was going to be at the Spinebuster where he went against Mako. How many matches has he had during the November and December to prep for this? So his Stunt Marshall ain't no joke.
He hates all the way through.
So, what did you think?
I think Stunt Marshall, in the future, this is going to be one of those matches that you see again, and the outcome's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Stunt Marshall filled his way out to see what the Valdosta area was like with Jay Too Strong. It was a decent match. I mean, these two definitely played off each other's strengths.
Yeah.
22 knees was not achieved, unfortunately.
I think how many we got to 2?
I'll give him 4 for the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
But it was something that we could see again, and maybe it even takes it to a harder level.
I think Jay Too Strong owes us 43 or 42 knees at this point because we were promised
22 knees a few times.
Yeah.
So
it's like a running toll. It's like you don't pay the piper now; it just compounds it with an interest. So I'm interested to see where Jay Too Strong goes in the future.
Yes.
And how he represents the Spartan title, and how he continues down the recovery road.
Will he beat Mako's record
of over 365 days?
Yes.
It's a good question.
Let us know if you're listening. Will Jay Too Strong beat Hunter Mako's record? Speaking of Hunter Mako, this leads us into the next match, where it's AMH's Preston Paradise and Hunter Mako versus TRL Johnny Romano
and Logan Stevens.
If he didn't have car trouble.
Yes.
So the Scorcher filled in.
Correct.
Now, I think all night we had this question of how is Hunter Mako going to come back? What's going through his head? Is he really ready to compete?
He came. He had the lettuce trimmed.
Yeah. New haircut.
Yeah.
he seems like he's ready for what 2020 is going to bring to him. With the Preston Paradise backing him in his corner, many have to say, is this where we see the downside of AMH? Is this where AMH begins to implode?
I think we kind of saw this in October, to where AMH just looked a little different.
They weren't on the same page.
There was miscommunication. Before they were all together, and even though they have brought the queen pin into their group, it just seems disheveled. They're not all on the same point. David Ali is now the prophet all of a sudden, and Preston Paradise is the godfather
of Valdosta wrestling. Yeah.
So where does that put the queen pin, and where does that put Mako within that? And then we also have to say, and I'm kind of jumping the gun, Connor Mason is no longer.
He is adios.
Yeah, got fired.
And in this match, you saw Johnny Romano not being able to get into the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, the ref had a hard time. He spent more time complaining to the refs.
Yeah.
Than actually trying to wrestle.
I felt like I wanted to take a tissue to Johnny.
It's like, here you go.
Yeah. Dry those crocodile tears.
The Scorcher managed to take Preston Paradise down at one point after a few tries, and I thought that was a highlight. But other than that, AMH is going to win by any means necessary.
Yeah.
And they're still your tag team champions.
And I think that brings us to, what is the future of TRL? Will we see Johnny Romano and Logan Stevens back together in any promotion that we're going to go to this year? Because this is the third time we've seen a fill-in for Logan Stevens.
Probably. I think it's about that way. You wonder, is Johnny Romano the problem? Could people not want to be tag teams with him?
Right.
We saw him win a championship, then lose a championship, and then it was still the same method of, what are you doing, Johnny?
Yeah. So does he need to go back to being a singles again?
That'd be interesting. And you could see him going on for the Gladiator belt.
Yeah.
So, just booking that slowly into the way.
Yes. So we go, the final match of the evening was Winter Warfare. We've got to explain the rules on this one. And this was also for the Titan belt.
Yeah.
So, do you want to explain the rules? Do you have the rules, or?
I do have some of the rules. It's 20 competitors.
Right.
Versus David Ali. After 2 minutes, it starts off with 2 minutes.
It was kind of like a rumble.
Yeah. And you can only win by pin or submission. That's how you start to eliminate people.
Yeah.
And then the last person standing is the new champion. So David Ali could have lost early on.
And then whoever won the whole thing. So it just, I think it's everybody to get the belt, and not David Ali just happened to be the person who had the belt.
Yes.
So, and so it's like when you're doing a rumble, or what is it when all the guys get in the ring? Is it the Royal? I'm using the Royal Rumble because that's happening soon with WWE.
Over the top.
No, over the top there. There's no, it was either pin or submission.
Right.
How you eliminated somebody within that. And so I was not surprised to see David Ali do what he normally does.
Outlast, hide under the ring.
And there was so many people. It was pretty much everybody who was a part of the evening came into. There was so many people. This is where the chaos was. It was hard to focus in on. I found myself, okay, am I watching this person, or am I just going to do kind of a general peripheral view? And then there was stuff we could see because it went out of the ring and then onto the stage and everything.
One of the cool ones is this was the first time fans got to see J2 Strong versus Hunter Mako, like in a ring.
Yeah, since their last bout.
And so that was something that fans were excited for. A lot of old feuds came back through this one. Lexi Gomez and Catalina Perez.
Yep.
Many wonder, is Catalina Perez going to be AMH's next champion to win, or next person to win a belt?
What about that? Well, and I was surprised to see Hold My Beer Hansen come in the ring after that,
Guitar shot.
Yeah.
So
And then the other shot is Lexi Gomez took one right to the face, right there, and a super kick right to the face of the pie hole there.
David Ali definitely handed it out.
Yes.
But David Ali, he is still the champ. I think AMH's car trouble stick
Yeah.
may not have to work with Logan Creed. We may have to find Eric Creed
Yeah.
as he flies into Mathis to take back his
Well, I
belt.
hope we see Logan Creed back in 2020. That would be. I think that's the one person.
That could take on David Ali and
Well, he could probably take on all of AMH. And maybe was it David Ashley? Star.
Ashton
Starr. Ashton Starr, Logan Creed together, clean up AMH.
Maybe that's a faction.
Maybe. Well, I mean, that would be a team of some sort. Is two people a faction?
Could it be? BTB. What do you
But they're a tag team, not a faction.
Huh.
I always think of like the Four Horsemen as a faction. Was it the New World? Yeah, we totally forgot to mention. We saw the guy that did. No, this is brought to you by the New World Order.
Yeah.
That did the voices for that for WCW back in the day. Though I heard he shows up to all these events and stuff like that. So it's not unusual to see that guy show up to so many things. But it was still cool. That was the first time I'd seen it. Not to hate on. So what factions are we going to see coming? I don't know. That's a good question, and we're going to have to wait till March 4th. But also, as we mentioned earlier, Connor Mason was fired. He's gone.
He is out of there.
We will not see him at all, ever.
It's a terrible way to go, Connor, but it had to happen.
Yes.
Looks like you couldn't outlast that shotgun.
And that shotgun was, he was
on it. He was
both barrels blazing.
He was trying to fight every which way, so that was pretty cool.
And then after he got Johnny Maverick, the best dressed GM
in South Georgia,
was assaulted
in the ring, and that was a surprise to me.
Yes.
No official word on general manager Johnny Maverick's condition. We'll update you as soon as we know something.
Or check the Spinebuster page's Facebook page to find out what's going on.
Right. So Spinebuster definitely took the year and said, we're coming in strong. Bringing attitude back to wrestling. So be sure to go to their next show, March 4th. Look on their Facebook page, Spinebuster Championship Wrestling, and see what's going on in the world. This brings us next to Sunbelt. They're running a limited schedule this year to bring better quality shows.
How could they ended so strong in 2020?
Yeah. I feel like they have us wanting more. We talked to Brooks Robinson in that interview.
Yeah.
And he knows how to put on a show. He talks about the 5-star matches, the 3-star matches.
Yeah.
And just how to build a card.
And if one of the things, like, go to our YouTube page and check that interview out, because I think he is. I think to be braggadocious, humble brag. The Raw interview with James was good. I think, or even like we go back to like the Tony Storm, and then we did one with Rod Grimes, then we did the James from Raw, and then we did the Brooks one with Sunbelt. We're getting better each time, and so check those things out. Again, that's part of supporting South Georgia wrestling and North Florida and raising the profile. We've got to go out and then go to these shows, because the last 2 Sunbelt shows we went to in 2019.
Amazing.
Even in the outside cold rain.
Waiting to see the dog collar match between...
Yeah, and the Battle Royal, which I kept calling the Royal Rumble, happening there. So I'm looking forward to that.
Have high faith in Duke.
Yes.
2020.
Yeah, maybe he'll go last a little longer in a Battle Royal this year.
He's going to win.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
SWA had a busy
December, January.
Do you would like run down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm running. Soviet Assassin and Aiden Knight faced off against Hansel and Chris Spider. Aiden hit an X Oblivion on Spider, and Soviet Assassin followed it with a big boot for the win. This is something that maybe this is Aiden's new partner, Soviet Assassin.
It could be. And then the next match was Alexander Knight versus El Nino, which I'm sad we missed that one, but we're going to be able to see their match, I believe. This on the January, was it 18th? Is that right?
January 18th.
18th in Pavo. So, and of course, Hembro Kato is with El Nino. Hembro came out and announced that El Nino was not in the building. Alexander came out to address Kato and then was blindsided by Nino. Now, are we surprised by that? No. The match started with El Nino winning in a controversial manner, with Alexander being DQ'd. So that's going to bring it into that's El Nino winning twice.
Right.
So it's not a rubber match. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the 18th in the Peacock Center. Bill Weaver versus Rod Grimes, the Scoundrel, battling Bill. Put up his position for Night of Champions, so it was a spot against Grimes' hair, which it's really just a mohawk.
Right. So, I mean, but hey, whatever helps keep him as the Scoundrel.
Yeah.
What is it? Ballin Bill wins due to a bit of confusion.
Right.
But guess who steps out? Blaze. Blaze is back.
Apparently.
And the match was restarted. Rod Grimes pulls off a last-minute victory.
So that's why we're seeing Rod Grimes
talk a lot of smack on social media. This next one is for this SWA Southeastern Championship. It was James Morrison versus Chungus.
That's what I'm going to say, Chungus.
Chungus is my... James Morrison was victorious in his title defense. Rod Grimes attacks the champion.
Well, does that surprise us? Not
no.
Really.
I mean, part of me really thinks Rod Grimes wants this belt back.
I think, he's the energy for 2020 is a burning within him.
There will be a last man standing match made for the Night of Champions.
Yes.
So.
And then the women's SWA Championship, Roxy Rouge versus Avista Varlow. Roxy was victorious in a hard-fought battle. Apparently, there was some weird shenanigans that went on there. And then they went to the final match was Task Force versus SCOTUS. And that's the Scyther and Dan Lydon. Task Force announced that one they were going to leave for good and take their belts. Stipulations were set that if Task Force lost, there would be no rematch. They did that same thing with Punkadelics.
Wow.
And would be suspended for 6 months. After the match went back and forth, SCOTUS showed them a little bit too much, and Task Force lost it. So SCOTUS is the new tag team champion. So we will not be seeing Trash Force
for 6 months.
Man.
Or they won't even be able to get a rematch.
Yeah, I think the match we wanted to see them was against...
what is it?
Dax and
Maverick.
Yes.
Man, the Renegades.
The Battle of the Biscuits.
We will never see... That's tough.
Yeah.
Brings us to January 4th, New Beginnings in Newton, Georgia.
Yes.
It is Ballin Bill Weaver versus Sanson. Ballin Bill wins with his Patriot Leaf submission.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Ballin Bill is getting ready for something huge.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a match at DCCW.
He's getting ready. The next one is pretty interesting. It's the best 2 out of 3 falls. Mm-hmm. It's Bud Heavy.
It's Heavy.
Heavy versus Rod Grimes. In the first one, Bud Heavy uses a roll-up for a victory in match 1.
Yep.
Match 2, Grimes wins with the DDT.
Correct.
And then third match, Grimes uses the Death Plunge for a second victory in the match. We have 2 people going on 2 different courses with Ballin Bill and Rod Grimes.
Right.
Do you think it's headed to where we would see Ballin Bill versus Rod Grimes versus James Morrison?
That's a good question.
2 separate roads.
Yes.
One leads to the SWA Southeastern Championship.
Yes. So we see here, Nightmare Syndicate is back together.
For one night only, or maybe?
No, I don't know. Maybe it could be for good because they were going against the good old boys. They went back and forth after the loss. The Nightmare Syndicate won.
That's always good to hear.
Yep. And then they got jumped with them left laying in the ring, which means probably they're back for good. This is not a one and done. I mean, Aiden took some time off.
And now he's back. He had some singles.
I think it was just a matter of time before they got back together.
So if you're happy to see Nightmare Syndicate back, give them a follow on Facebook.
Yes.
And let them know. This next one, mask versus hair match.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but this one's pretty funny, pretty cool.
Ooh.
It was the Soviet Assassin versus Chris Spider.
Yes.
What is it? Match began as a single. Spider got the pinfall after a guillotine by Dark Rage. Look at him, Chris Spider, already trying to win in 2020.
And Dark Rage is interfering, and Preston Veston's not there, so he's mingling. He's always like mingling. I guess he's mixing it up.
Yeah. Ref Kyle called for the belt. Look at that. We still have the Iron Ref.
Yeah.
Kyle showing up, not seeing everything that's going on, but thankfully, Ref Bill came out and told Kyle what Rage did.
Right.
It was ruled a no contest. Rage and Spider started to advance on the Mayor of Wrestling and the Soviet Assassin. But guess who came out? Preston Veston. And put his hair against Spider's hair in a tag match. Preston and Soviet Assassin won via double pin. Spider got a cut by the Mayor, but escaped with Rage.
So we'll be seeing Spider's new cut here on January 18th.
We'll be sure to take a picture of it.
Hopefully at the Night of Champions. And we're going back to the Peacock Center. It's been we missed the last one because we were both out of town for the holidays. And so this is historically, they do two of these. They do one of these like in January, and then they do another one in the summer sometime, like probably around July-ish.
Yeah.
Is when that goes on. And the first match listed in our notes are the Go Wrestle Openweight Championship, the Interrogator Malik Boseed
versus El Nino.
Yes.
Something to look for. Then it's the Women's Championship. It's Persia.
Yeah, but this is the Go Wrestle. This isn't the SWA.
The Go Wrestle.
Yeah.
Versus Persia versus Ember Cato.
And we go back here is the Interrogator is the champion of the Go Wrestle Openweight Championship belt, and Hembra Cato
is the champion of the
Go Wrestle belt.
So could this be the night that we see El Nino and Ember Cato both with belts by the end of the night?
It will be interesting, and this is the next match is the Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. That freaking good guy, Stephen Frisk, versus Outlaw number 2 and Stephen Frisk. That freaking guy. I don't know why I say good guy in there. Maybe I was thinking of Cassius Mack.
It's on your brain.
It is on my brain. He's grabbed real estate for some reason, and Stephen Frisk is the champion within that one.
Brings us to the next one, AIWF Southern Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
The Anointed Logan Stevens versus Hoodstar Dark Rage.
Maybe we can ask, hopefully Logan Stevens will not have car problems that night.
Right. Hopefully.
Yes.
Then finally it brings us to the match of the night. SWA Southeastern Championship. Champion James Morrison, one half of the Punkadelics, will put his belt on the line to go against Rod Grimes, the Scoundrel. And this one, as we talked about earlier, is a last man standing match.
And James Morrison has held that belt.
It's going on a year.
A long time. Over, I think, close to 365 days.
So we'll see how he does. Will he make it over that hurdle?
And I think this is a belt Rod has been trying to get another belt since he lost one last, when was it?
I mean, this was the belt he lost to the Storm.
Yeah.
So we're having to see, will he ever be able to retain this belt?
That's a good question.
Admission will be $8. Kids 6 and under are free with
Yes.
a paid adult. Doors open at 6:30 and bell time is 7 p.m.
The professors will be in the house and getting ready to fill our nacho needs.
So excited to have nachos again in my life.
And also, just quickly, on January 25th, they're returning to Warusa, Florida, at the Possum Palace. So check that out and pay attention to their Facebook page, their Twitter, and their Instagram for updates.
We are the Professors of Wrestling. We want to be Taco Bell famous. So remember, subscribe to our YouTube page, like the Facebook page, follow us on Instagram at the Professors of Wrestling. Share it all, spread the word, join in the discussion. We want to be a community. I'm Dorrian. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at D2Baber.
I'm Dave. You can find me at Just a Professor on Instagram and Twitter as well.
Have a good one.